On a mesa in the picturesque high desert, 96 miles from Los Angeles, a huge lake, more than a mile long, has been created where none existed before. This is the story of how and why a lake holding 1,080,000,000 gallons of water was constructed at Spring Valley Lake. Selection of the site for this 2,000-acre recreational community culminated months of intensive research, part of the continuing search conducted by Boise Cascade Properties for that rare expanse of land that meets every requirement, that satisfies nearly 100 criteria for a large, totally recreation-oriented community. The Spring Valley Lake property met every test, including water. Not just the usual volume of water for the normal needs of residents, but billions of gallons of water to amply meet all the requirements of a lake-oriented community. With the decision to undertake the project, planning engineers began refinement of the design concept that would evolve into the master plan to transform land previously used only for pasture and raising alfalfa into a spectacular residential vacation land. The master plan would ensure proper land utilization and protect future value for each property owner. With its promise of fun and recreation, the new community provides maximum recreational facilities for property owners. They include a championship 18-hole golf course designed by Trent Jones, creator of many of the nation's finest courses, and that marvelous combination of spectacular scenery and clean, fresh air. A country club complex overlooking the lake with a huge 20,000 square foot clubhouse designed by internationally acclaimed Cliff May. A magnificent dining room, banquet facilities, 4 championship tennis courts, a large heated swimming pool, a full-line pro shop, driving range, practice putting green, locker rooms, and snack shop. And on the lakefront, a large sandy beach and a fully equipped marina for sail and power boats, while in another section of Spring Valley Lake will be an elaborate equestrian center. In picturesque Joshua Tree country, the entrance to the community is next to the unique Spring Valley Lake Commercial Center. Topographic models and other displays provide a dimensional representation of the master plan, bringing together complete recreational facilities and a magnificent year-round climate. A master plan community for families desiring to escape the crowds while enjoying swimming, boating, fishing, water skiing, golf, tennis, horseback riding, even a chance to picnic on a sandy beach that is reserved solely for property owners. Ample water was available at Spring Valley Lake. Under the surface is one of the largest water basins in Southern California, constantly replenished by mountain streams. Constructing the lake was a major engineering project, with the planned lake basin measuring more than a mile in length. To achieve a uniform elevation for the lake and the ground around it, an excavation 15 feet below the original ground level was necessary. All of the land area on the mesa, several hundred acres, had to be raised or lowered to achieve the relatively uniform ground elevation desired. This massive earth-moving program, coupled with the grading of streets and lot pads in the upper mesa area, necessitated one of the largest operations ever undertaken in the area. It required the massing of the largest fleet of heavy equipment ever employed by E.L. Yeager Construction Company, one of the Southland's largest contractors. At various times, up to 70 major pieces of heavy equipment, requiring more than 95 skilled operators, were at work on the project. Creation of the lake basin basically consisted of making deep excavations from the lake bottom to create the embankment around the lake. It required movement of more than 3 million cubic yards of dirt. Total site preparation, including excavation of the lake, required movement of over 7 million cubic yards of dirt by these mechanical monsters. Fingers of land have been constructed parallel to the shoreline. By creating these keys and channels, the number of homes that can be built with water frontage has been increased substantially. The open lake area is wide enough for boating and water skiing, measuring 800 feet from one shoreline to the other at the narrowest point. Because the groundwater table was 5 feet higher than the depth of the planned excavation, it was necessary to install 10 dewatering wells to lower the water level in the excavation area while the lake was being constructed. The dewatering wells drew approximately 20,000 gallons of water per minute out of the 200-acre excavation area during the 7 months required to make the lake. With one exception, all of the embankments on the lake perimeter and the keys were shaped to a 4-to-1 slope, a gradual slope that will facilitate dock site construction. Because near-perfect stability of the embankment is a necessity, an extensive compaction process was necessary. Special precaution had to be taken to keep the heavy compacting equipment from overturning as it worked on the slope. This was accomplished by anchoring the equipment with a steel cable running to a Caterpillar tractor moving on a parallel course on the flat ground above. To make the lake basin non-porous, a seepage-inhibiting membrane consisting of a mixture of clay, chemical, and silt had to be applied to the embankment and bottom. The clay was spread first. Then the actual mixing began with a large rotary mixer combining the clay, chemical, and silt. Water was injected into this mixture with the chemical Packzyme and compacted to a density of 98%. Prior to the introduction of the clay and chemical, silt and sand have been pre-mixed in the proper consistency to achieve a carefully controlled compound. Additional insurance against wave erosion is given to the embankments in a 6-inch deep strip of soil cement, 4 feet above and below the point where the lake level and wave action coincide. The white coating of the curing compound bleaches out to leave the embankment in its natural earth color. This outlet structure offers a safeguard that the water level of the lake will never exceed design level, which is to accommodate a 1,000-year storm, or 13 inches of rainfall in 1 hour. During normal operation of the lake, approximately 8,000 gallons of water per minute will enter the lake through a stream originating at the state fish hatchery on the southern perimeter of Spring Valley Lake. This flow of water will assure continuous circulation within the lake. The gate at the foot of the outlet structure would only be used if it became necessary to completely empty the lake. To allow the water to circulate between the fingers of land projecting into the lake, reinforced concrete pipes, 18 inches in diameter, were installed through the keys. These pipes assure adequate water movement to prevent possible stagnation. A scientifically planned program has been developed to assure a plentiful supply of fish and good fishing conditions. Fish to be stocked in the lake will include largemouth bass, channel catfish, rainbow trout, and various smaller types. A trench running down the middle of the lake is cut 3 feet below the surrounding basin to allow colder water to settle in the trench, creating a cold water refuge for trout. In the final stage of creating the lake membrane, a tanker introduces Packzyme into the rotary mixer, resulting in a complete silt, clay, and chemical mixture. Note the variation of the ground before and after the mixing operation. The first water entering the lake covered sections of the lake bottom to a depth of 1 to 2 feet. At the same time, SS-13, another seepage inhibitor, was introduced. Water for the ponding and for the subsequent filling in the lake is from the same pumps that originally kept the water out of the excavation area. Plastic was laid under the filling pipe to prevent erosion during the filling process. With all pumps operating, approximately 20,000 gallons of water per minute flow into the lake. Operating the pumps 24 hours a day, it required a month to fill the lake to capacity. 1,080,000,000 gallons of water. A small amount of water is in the south end of the lake, activating the chemical curing compound. The total ponding operation consisted of putting small dikes in the lake bottom as each segment of the lake was completed. Finally, construction work on the lake itself was completed, and for the last time, the Army of Heavy Equipment retired for the night. Lake was filled, and folks were quick to take advantage of it. One of the first power boats on the lake gave evidence that this is one of the Southland's finest water ski areas. The lake gets the seal of approval, too, from this fellow. Of course, protected areas have been established for all types of boats, for fishing and for swimming. Water attracts nearly everyone, even a seaplane which makes a trial run on Spring Valley Lake. Mother and daughter picnic on the beach, experiencing the relaxed Spring Valley Lake way of life. This is Spring Valley Lake, a brand new lake in Southern California, and the remarkable recreational community being developed around it. A tribute to the vision, engineering skill, and resources of Boise Cascade, creating better environments and a better way of life for thousands of families across the country.